Hello fellow style explorers. For this video, I thought I would try out something different from what we usually do. We're going to take a look at the Midjourney Style Explore function, but this time we're going to play around with it without really prompting. And in the end, we shall see what kind of styles we can discover as a result. So the word selection for this video will be kind of strange. I shall be concentrating on words that are not used in everyday vocabulary that often. To be honest, I had never even heard of these words before. And as a result, we shall take a look at the first 9 results we get more closely. Depending on Midjourney's updates, and when you test these out yourself, you may not be able to see exactly these same styles when you do the search yourself, but you should see similar kind of stuff. It seems that whenever Midjourney adds more styles to the Explorer, you may not see some styles that you used to see each time you search for a particular phrase. It happened to me with sci-fi. I had this one style that I recognised being there each time, and after the latest update, I no longer see that style in the search results. But let's see what's going to happen when we use some very strange and unexpected words in the Style Explore search. I'm guessing they probably won't look like what the word means, but we're in for an interesting adventure. Apricity, the warmth of the sun in winter. The styles all do seem to be quite sunny and light with mostly pastel colour tones. First we have style 1842862621 with some salmon or almost orange with some faded blue tones. It varies from painterly to photographic. Style 3 744450404 is more abstract, yet the subjects are fairly recognisable, some gradients going on here. Then we have style 594219070 that's more illustrative with many light blue and yellow tones. Style 30104359448 brings in some graphic overlay elements in violet and salmon tones, adding some geometry to the images. Then we have style 40577344010 that is kind of anime-like and detailed with a very light colour scheme. Style 344223607 is even lighter with its pastel tones and no outlines between the light colours. Style 33257100605 is again kind of abstract and geometric. The colours are stronger yellows and blues, but still airy and light. Style 29265759227 seems to have much more stronger colours. It's an illustration style. And the last style 995086334 is more salmon and grey toned. It's also an illustration style, but very different from the previous style. Psithurism, the sound of wind in trees. But this doesn't look at all like what the word's description explains, yet these look to be very interesting and weird darker styles. 28634262226 has white and purple highlights on black. It seems to be very symmetrical and it plays around with perspective. 33287687775 is more reddish purple. It reminds me of surrealism, yet it seems to be slightly celestial. 42112433432 uses blue glow and is quite surreal. I really like glowy styles. 18057137009. It is a little bit macabre. It's got pink tones, flowers and rays of white light. It also has some surreal feel to it. 267251546 is somewhat gritty or has a grunge effect. It's pretty much a subject on an almost solid background. Very eerie. 17627688520. It has pinkish and purple lines and dots on a dark background, with occasional greenish grey. Again feels kind of celestial. 14226700632 has a blue gradient background and has more of an illustrative design with quite fine details. 10846148892 has bronze and blue on black, quite macabre with skulls appearing in many images, but has some fine detail. 33345500484 is also dark with purple highlights and lots of details and has kind of macabre theme to it. Acnestis, the unreachable spot between your shoulder blades. Yet for some reason this brings up an oil painting style. I'm also noticing that Midjourney must lock its seed in place too. From these styles, it's obvious that some of the trees and clouds are quite similarly placed. 17451511390 has muted colours. I have no idea who it reminds me of, but it's clearly an oil painting style. 38843494647 must be somewhat weaker of a style because it throws in some photorealism with some of the subjects. 25958632226 also does the same thing, but to a lesser extent. This seems to be the most different looking of the styles we spotted. 23183211654 only has the photorealism come in with the tree. This one has kind of a sepia tint to it. 6205022094 has a slightly more modern look to it, but it's still a similar type of oil painting for the most part. 18613322521. This one looks different as well, as if it belongs to a different kind of era than the other styles. It seems to be a stronger style as it's fully consistent across all example images. 29489712776 is a bit darker. I just noticed that this one and some others before had the animals pose almost like people. 22970952223 throws some photorealism too. The clothing style reminds me of the 17th century. 24588522380 looks to be a more busy style. There's way more going on in the paintings. There is a lot of tiny detail everywhere. Eronatious, hedgehog-like. Now this one seems to be something completely different. The word brings up an anime style and no hedgehogs. 67299428 seems to prefer the colour green and also yellow. The colours are slightly muted. 2426042941 looks like an old school anime style with muted colours and seems to prefer mint green. 6989458899 is very similar, but the colours seem less muted. The images are a bit hazy and there's a lot of pink tones as well. 14797500300 switches the tone to slightly darker and muted again, with pink tones getting more brownish tint to them. 2825283439 looks quite different from the others. The colours are way more muted, and we almost see some photorealism-like style coming in with the nature prompts. 430377043 is fully anime style across all prompts. It's got more colour and the overall colour scheme feels kind of retro. 35181035543 returns us back to mint green and more colour. 25773088175 gets more of a sepia tint to it. We see a bit more photorealism in some of the prompts here, especially nature and the coffee cup. 1112195757. Again, some mint green but slightly toned to blue, still kind of old school anime feel. Mumpsimus, a person who stubbornly sticks to a proven mistake. These styles look kind of from an older era, yet they are more sketched and somehow feature canyons in many of the landscape prompt examples. The faces look kind of similar to each other, almost all with lighter toned eyes. 4709430007. Almost like a sketch or pencil drawing style with some toned down colours occasionally. 37118165154. Looks like a vintage illustration. Subjects are isolated on a white background, coloured with yellow, brown and sometimes green colours. 247184768. A mix between painted and photorealistic or photography style, quite muted colours and clouds in many of the prompts. 23418333355 A very mixed style, muted colours, most of them some tones of green. The style varies from sketch to photographic to almost like 3D rendered look. 17111195985. More close-up, almost photographic or photoreal, muted colours with green, purple and yellow are the most distinguishable, seems to have vignettes in the corners quite often. 14401568665. Basically an illustration style that seems to prefer faint violet and yellow tones with occasional green highlights. 37803144451. Something in between. An oil painting and drawing, some isolation of subject on an empty background, very muted colours. 3136017727. This looks like something in between a painting and an illustration, some hints of surrealism, muted colours. 28049143885. Feels more like a colour pencil drawing than a painting. Again, muted colours with a sepia-heavy colour scheme. And this concludes our quick glance into some very strange words and what styles Midjourney interprets them as. We got quite a wide variety of styles out of this. Let me know if you liked any of these. Also, let me know if you would like me to do more of these quick explorations of obscure words. I really enjoyed discovering these styles and seeing how the search engine interprets these words. I can pretty much say that none of them really looked anything like what the word was supposed to mean. Only the first one had some slight hints of the actual words in my opinion, and I didn't even have to prompt a single thing. In this video sounds different from the usual, but it is because I changed it. I used to use the 11 Labs model 2.5 to generate the voiceover for my videos, but this time I have switched it to model version 3. The old voice did not work with the new model. I tried recreating the old voice, but it just didn't sound good. I even tried the voice actor mode, but apparently the voice has to be your own if you want to clone it in more detail. So I went with the third option of just creating a new voice with a prompt. It seems to mostly resolve some of the speed and pacing issues I had in this video with the old voice. Somehow, in between reading the numbers, the descriptions became really fast as well, and I couldn't get them right, even after regenerating some segments. Anyway, I thank you so much for watching, and let's continue prompting. And if I should continue using this. I feel this one sounds even less artificial than before, but maybe it's just me.